could have given up, but you didn't. You could have stopped believing, but you didn't. You could have kept living their expectations, but you decided to make this life your own. And in turn, you're here. Hello everyone, today we're meeting Nevriye Yesil. She is a substance abuse advisor. She's also entrepreneur, speaker, and author of the book, Mom Help Me. Hello Nevriye, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Anna. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. So let's start a conversation by diving into your journey of becoming the person you are today. What led you to discover your true passion in life? How did it start for you?
Oh, well, my journey. Ooh, how did it start? Like I was always into psychology, very interested into the criminal mind, always was, really had my passion in the forensics area. And I started doing research in jails in preparation for my PhD. And I found that, a lot of the women I was working with had only one problem, and that was drugs. So that was kind of like my introduction to the world of people being addicted to the various kinds of substances. I started educating myself so I can teach these wonderful women that I had the pleasure to meet. And I found moms that they were very ill equipped to support their children once they find out that they're using drugs. So I started working with moms and I started working with teens because I think we need to reach this population when they are still young and start experimenting with drugs. We have the best chance of recovery and turnaround once we have a chance to reach these people before they develop a full-blown addiction. So my goal is to reach as many moms, educate, empower moms, and work with teens before they really go down the rabbit hole and don't know a way out.
Yes, that's beautiful. And a lot of people struggle with substance abuse, and everything kind of starts, like you mentioned, in the early age when they're teenagers, and usually they are vulnerable at that age, and they started hanging out with people or listening to some bad advice out there, and they start experimenting, trying, and then it doesn't take that long to get really into that rabbit hole, to become addicted to the point where it becomes an illness, something that they cannot control. So with you helping moms to really catch at the point where they can really help that person in the beginning, how they can identify what are the signals or I would say signs that we all have to watch for if we have kids at that age, and what could help us to really have a conversation with a person and see where they're at.
I thank you for that question because, you know, I ha- you mentioned that I wrote a book. I want to show it real quick. Mom, help me. I have a whole chapter on how to detect that your child is using drugs. So there are some warning signs out there. And I found that many parents are quite slow on picking up on them because they don't know what to look out for. Those can be visible signs on your child, like the way they dress, the way they, behave, the tools that they leave around, random household items at odd places, like aluminum foil or lighters or gas burners. It can be anything, and because every drug needs some certain kinds of tools to either be prepared or consumed. So they will leave stuff around and you need to pick up on it. Does it make sense? Look for behavioral signs. Does it make sense for your child to wear a long sleeve on a hot day? Are they trying to cover up maybe some bruises? Are they trying to cover up some needle marks? Are they, maybe scratching themselves until they bleed? Some drugs really cause intense itching. They can feel sometimes this sensation that bugs are crawling under the skin, so they really itch themselves until they bleed. So what is it? What kind of behavior is kind of like odd? And my focus is on mothers, because as a mom, I believe that there is an intense and unshakable bond between mom and a child. They know, they feel, they sense that something is wrong before anybody else does. So they are the most involved and typically the primary caregivers for their child. So although my book, Mom Help Me, is just for, the title says it's for moms, it is good for any caregivers. But I wanted to give moms a hands-on tool what to do, because I saw moms suffer and I just wanted to, you know, do my part and provide them the tools, how to talk to them, how to be the best role model, how to guide them, how to support them in their recovery. So every step that they need to know. And before I forget, I'm giving it away, Anna, for free at momhelpmebook.com. It is completely for free. Please get your hands on it. Maybe you know somebody that needs it. Half of it is on preventing it, and half of it is on intervening when there is a problem. So, of course, the goal is to prevent anything like that to happen, because sometimes we like laying back and we think it's never going to happen to my child, never going to be happening to me and my family, because we are the most successful in our network. We can sometimes think they're going to turn out just like us, but you know what? We are just one piece of the puzzle. What about all the other influences, their school, their friends, the neighborhood, their inheriting the genes, their own personality and temperament? There are so many other things that can lead them to do drugs. That, my goal is to make you as a parent, primary caregiver, and as a mom shine so bright, be so strong that drugs don't have any power.
Yes, and that's beautiful. And I'm gonna put it in the link as well, for those who'd like to get the book, and that would be a great tool for those who struggle, or maybe they know somebody that can help with sharing that book as well. But also, mostly the reason why those teens turn into that type of substance addiction, it's mostly because of the way they feeling, or they kind of like escape in that present moment. Not, they don't want to deal with some kind of emotions that going on, they're not processing their emotions. So it's about mental health also. That is the foundation of why they look into that in the first place. And I feel like if we kind of prioritize our mental health, and make it like it's normal to talk about our emotions, to talk about our feelings, to really say what is it on your mind, why are you feeling heavy, how can I help you? And if they knew there are resources available, practitioners out there also that could help them with that to process. And knowing that it's not a weakness, a really like courageous act to ask for help if you're struggling with something, depression, anxiety, anything that going on, that you don't have to look into something that will give you that temporary escape, but you rather process those emotions in the first place, and that would be a healthier way to deal with that. But yes, it's still a pandemic, and it's just crazy numbers in America. I don't know about other countries. It's just a lot of cases where people overdose and they in their 20s and they end their life because of that. It becomes a problem to the point when a person cannot even deal with that. It's just taking over their life. So they have to reach for help, or if they can, then if their caregivers can spot something that's going on with the teenager and give them those tools available, help them to reach for the help, that would be something very important. That will cost their life, really, because this is just pandemic in my mind. What do you think?
You know, The reason why people do drugs is different, right? Every child is different, every family is different. So people use drugs to fulfill a certain need. So we need to find out what is it that they need. What need are they trying to meet with this substance? Is it stress? Is it maybe a traumatic experience? Is it because some issues in the family? Is it a breakup? Is it bullying? So we need to find out what it is that is causing them. Maybe it's just, trying to fit in with the friends or experimenting. So by finding the root cause of the problem, we can help them meet those needs in a healthier way without substances and drugs, and also educate these teens when they are still in middle school, high school. We need to teach them how to deal with adversity. Many people think that problems are not normal, that they're trying to hide, but we need to teach them that it is a part of life. Things will always happen that you don't like. Hiding it, hiding from it, you know, trying to find a band-aid, cover up for it, numb yourself from it, it's not going to help. Problem will get bigger. So we need to build their resilience. We need to empower them. We need to educate them about the side effects of drugs, because you know what? Nobody who uses drugs look their best. They always look sick. They look old, because teens are so self-conscious about their looks. And it's always a good idea. You know what? This is how, if you do drugs, this is how you're gonna look like. I'm sorry. And your life is gonna be all about drugs. You had those big childhood dreams and goals. Guess what? It's not gonna happen. But I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you. And your communication with your child is key. Make sure you have a positive relationship with your child. And your child, please, please, please don't make your child fear you. If your child is scared of you, you lose. Not only you lose, your child loses too, because they will not come to you when something goes off. They will not come to you when something is bothering them. They would go to somebody who may not have their best interest in mind, but you will. So you want the first person to be on their list if something is off, right? You want that kind of a relationship with your child, whether it's good or bad. I'm here for you. I'm here to support you. We make mistakes. I love you. And I know things were tough for you lately. Relate to them. Show empathy, right? They'll be scared. They'll be scared that you found out. They'll be scared of you. They'll be scared to be punished. Be very understanding. Go down to their level. Be empathetic, because we feel before we can think. So when you make them feel heard, understood, and loved, they will open up to you and share with you. And then you can talk sense into their mind. Okay, there's great people out there who can help. So I'm here for you. We'll get out of this. I'm your mother. I want your best interest in mind. I have only your best interest and intentions in mind. And I'm here to support you. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all. I mean, what else can you do? Like, you can be the best support system for your child that they deserve, be a good role model, find positive friendships for them, help them find those positive friendships, which is not like, being bored at home alone. They need to be active in social environments. They need to do some after school activities, whether it's sports, art, or dance, whatever they are into. We need to have them engage with people who are who are positive, who have similar goals, because these kids talk about different things. They don't talk about drugs, right? They talk about the next competition or the next game, or whatever it is, and the next workout outfit, whatever it is. So we can guide them, we can support them and guide them toward the right direction. But at the end, of course, they will make their own choice. But we as parents have a powerful tool, because they're still living with you, they're still listening to you, you're still giving them allowance, and they still depend on you for certain things. So we have a little bit more control and power. That's why I'm really focusing on mothers and teens, because we have the most control when they're to get them out when they're still young and just started experimenting.
Yes, definitely. And you just mentioned communication is the key for us to establish that feedback with our child, it has to be from the earlier age. It's not just when something happened. It has to be like a foundation of the way you communicate with your child. So you would be the first person they would share that experience with or ask for help. And yes, if your child is not the first one coming to you, you should be always asking how they feeling, and starting that communication from your place, and then see what's how else you can improve on that. But I think the most important part is not judging, because usually they afraid to share with you because they think you would judge them or they will be punished. And if you have that safe space for them to really share and talk and tell how they feel, and for them to feel loved unconditionally, doesn't matter what's going on, you still love, because it's your child, right? And they're supposed to feel that, not just with you saying it. It's the matter of feeling it. And the more they feel that, the more they will open up, the more they will ask for help, and they will trust you. They know you have the best intention, and you will help them with that situation. And you should be like saying that we're a team and we're in this together, and I will help you. You're not alone. And they should feel that support from you, and knowing that together we can reach that point where I'm free, and now like we can do something about it. But a lot of times, yeah, teenagers especially, I think like they create that space with their parents, and they start hiding, they start avoiding the communication, and that could be the problem that will grow later on. So I think if we, as a parent, if we just make it kind of like a practice to talk to our child every day on a daily basis, just to check in what's going on, how you feel, and what are you doing, so knowing the activities they engage in, people they talk to, and really like be involved in their life to the point where you know everything. You shouldn't be guessing what's happening. You should know. And if you don't know, maybe there's something you have to work on yourself and the way you communicate with your child. Because a lot of times, we're demanding something to know, but at the same time, we're not given something that they want from us. And like you said, there's certain need that needs to be filled. What is that need? What is that they need from us that we're not given?
That's great. Awesome. Thank you for pointing that out. That, spend time with your child. I know we are all busy. Some moms are working 2, 3 jobs. I totally get it. But there are time that you can use, kind of like small moments. Make even small moments count. Driving them to school or other activities. These are amazing opportunities to connect with them. And not only ask them about their life and what's going on in their life, also make them a part of your life. Ask them for advice. This and this happened to me. What would you do if you were me? So it's kind of like gives them the opportunity to jump into an adult's role, and how would they solve the problem if they were you. It kind of gives them this mental practice to solve adult problems, and kind of like connect with them, make them a part of your world, and vice versa. And find them mentors. They may be some relatives, they may be friends who have more time. I would not leave a teen home all day. I would always make sure that they are engaged in sports, that they're around with really powerful people, smart, ambitious individuals that they can learn from, because the conversations are different.
Yes, and I think the more we being engaged in their lives and give them the opportunity to connect and really become an adult and to make those decisions, the more they thinking into the right direction and they grown as a person and they are focusing on something that is important for them. And if we surround or they surround themselves with people who uplift them, who motivate them, who are their role models, and they are focused on what is really like creating their life for their benefit rather than being I guess not doing what they need to do, not knowing what they want to do, or like feeling like they have a lot of time on their hands and they don't know what to do with that time. That's when they started looking for something to kind of like experiment with. And yeah, that's important to really like have that conversation and help your child to be engaged in something that they like, and also to provide them resources and to kind of introduce them to people who will help them, to motivate them to be their role model and mentor, which is important, I think. And also like you know when it comes to mental health, we have to spread that awareness. We have to kind of like become active in prioritizing that. And a lot of times people don't know that mental health is even more important than physical health. It's like it starts in your mind, it starts the way you think, it starts with what you choose to do, right? And everything comes back to your belief system. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you deserve of, right? And also with us not giving ourselves time for like self-care and self-love, and to realigning with our core values, knowing who we are, what we want in life. And it's kind of like creates the foundation how we make decisions in our life. And especially like when you're young, you're still exploring, you don't know, but you need to have some kind of mentor who's been through the same path as you, who can guide you, who but you have to also trust that person, right? So it has to be somebody for the child, even if it's not a mother, but maybe somebody else who they trust and they know this person really tells them the steps that they need to take in order to achieve their goals in life. So that's something is very crucial into building the healthy and happy life. And we need to like make it a priority, not just for ourselves and for our kids. So we need to be mindful of who they hang out with, and also like educate them. Like you just mentioned, if you just tell the person, this is what the drug addict looks like, and this is what they basically, you're not going to reach what you want to reach if you continue going that path. If that's not what you want, but you want something different for yourself, then you have to do something about it. You have to basically show them the visuals. They have to know what expected. Maybe a lot of times they don't know, they think it's easy to stop. A lot of times you ask the person who's addicted, he or she would say, I could stop at any point of time, but they don't realize that it's taking control over them. They don't know the power of that substance that really gets, over the human being. And with us educating and really like showing this is the result of that path, if you choose to go that direction, I think that's very powerful, and that will kind of like um, that reset the thinking in a way. But also, again, we have to support with other tools as well, because at that point they're very vulnerable, and we need to help anything like what we can do at the point. Don't you think?
I think we need to start educating these teens when they're still in school. because and deliver the message in a way that they would receive, that is fun, that is motivating. I think we can definitely do better in reaching them early on, you know, not only about drugs, but also about self improvement, self empowerment. Teach them how to deal with adversity, teach them how to deal with, you know, problems, and how to say no to pressure. I, I think we don't equip these kids properly, and our some of our educational systems are dated. So kind of one example is drug addiction. Like they do get a flyer home typically, and they get thrown away into trash. Nobody reads them. So this is not going to save your child's life. So we need to reach and empower the kids when they're still young, when they're still small, and and moms, empower yourself, take care of yourself, meet your own needs so you have the energy to be and present with your child, spend time with your child. So your needs matter as much as your child's needs. You do matter. Self-love is not selfish. Self-love is the love for yourself and your family, because when you are at your best, you have the energy to give it back. So what is your need? Meet your needs. You know, it can be anything. It can be from meditating, taking a walk, going to the movies. It can be anything, whatever fills your cup, whatever gives you energy. And yeah, educate yourself so you can pass it on to your child.
Yes, definitely. And also, like you just mentioned, we have to first think about our own self-care and self-love, because again, how can we share that with somebody if we are not fulfilled, if we feel that something is lacking, if we're not meeting our own need? So that is important, and it's not selfish. It has to be also a priority. We have to make sure that we give ourselves time. And yes, educating in the early ages is very crucial. And it's good when it's done in school, but as of right now, you know, it's not the best system that we have in place. It's something to, I think, it's the opportunity to explore that sector, and maybe you know, maybe eventually we'll come up with a new type of system that will really educate and empower the young kids in school. But also from our perspective at home, we can do what is available to us. We should utilize a lot of different tools and resources and really put it to work and share and make sure that our child is empowered and know what needs to be done in when, you know, when they face different challenges. And like you said, to say no, it's even that is so important, because a lot of times they feel this peer pressure, they feel like they have to agree to something, but isn't that the case really? So we have to kind of like show them what is possible, what is important, and that how they can really manage this different situation when they come to face them. And we can't possibly do everything for them, but what we can do is to equip them, to educate. That is very important from our point as a caregiver.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally right. Totally right. And there's so many fun tools like role playing.
Mhm.
What would you do? And if somebody else offered you, how would you react? So what happens is you are preparing your child's brain. It really forms the connections ahead of time before the real action behavior happens. So when they are really faced with this situation, they will know what to do, because you programmed them, you prepared them for a real life situation. Or tell them, call me whenever you feel uncomfortable. Just leave the situation, leave the event, leave this place whenever you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to be there. And just that's the best you can do, right? We cannot 24/7 guard our children. What we can do is give them the tools that they need to succeed in life. And one thing is to, you know, how do you raise children in a drug filled world without drugs? Well, that's the challenge. And I'm right here. And my mission is to educate parents, specifically moms, and help them help their teen help them educate their teen themselves and coach the teen. So again, Anna, momhelpmebook.com, completely free. Just get your hands on it and pass it on to somebody that is need, even if you don't need it. And even if your children are young, like how do you raise kids without drugs? So half of it is on preventing it in the first place. So we don't want to wait until it happens. We want to really make sure that it doesn't happen in the first place. And there are some tools that can increase your probability and your chance that it won't.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and wisdom. And for those who would like to connect with you, how can they find you online?
Well, if you want to schedule a call to discuss maybe you have an urgent family need you want to discuss with me, there is a way to get a hold of me. Just go on callnev.com, callnev, N-E-V.com, schedule a call or get your hands on this book. You will have a chance at momhelpmebook.com to get a hold of me. And yeah, I give courses, webinars, completely for free in school. So if you work in a therapeutic environment or an institution, get a hold of me. I'll be happy to see if there's any way we can collaborate and reach as many families as possible, because the more we reach, the more lives we can save. Thank you, Anna, for having me and spread my message.
Thank you. And as we close today, what would be the thought for today for our listeners?
The thought for today is get outside your comfort zone. That goes for kids, teens, and adults. Get outside your comfort zone. We all have these big dreams, big goals, but we don't want to take risk. You know what? My biggest lesson was take risk. You don't take risk because you don't want to fail, but you don't want to fail because you don't want to feel ashamed. You don't want to feel, because you don't want to feel ashamed, you play small and safe, and that keeps you in your box where you are right now, and you're not gonna advance. You're not going to grow as a person. Even we grow even from making mistakes. Don't be ashamed or scared to make mistakes, because that's what makes us better and stronger in the first place. So embrace the uncomfortable actions you're going to take and do something. My challenge for you, for the listeners, do something you never did before today. Just be wild, not something stupid. I'm not telling you to go jump off the cliff. No, something safe but uncomfortable that is leading you toward your bigger goal, bigger dream, and see what happens. You're gonna go to bed as a different person, that's for sure.
Yes, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, hit the subscribe button and share it with others.